I think we were at the Ravenels. And the thought came to me in that moment, you know, what stops Tobago from being the greatest little island on the planet? We are little. We are small in terms of resources. We are small in terms of population size. I'm talking comparatively, of course. We are small in terms of economy. Our GDP is significantly smaller than most other territories in the Caribbean region. And so the question is, how can little Tobago become great? And then I started building out a platform across 12 areas that I think Tobago can be great at. And of course, that includes simple things like our education system, healthcare being second to none, and technologically advanced healthcare, a digitized form of governance, a society where people can self-actualize and grow and develop, a society where our economy grows, and our economic growing works in tandem with population growth and so on. So they are all achievable deliverables for the island of Tobago. The challenge we have with creating the greatest little island on the planet, I think, our biggest challenge is that Tobago does not now have its autonomy to execute some of the things and the vision that we have always had for ourselves. And I don't think for a second that Fal is the first man with the vision. I don't think I have a copyright on what a great Tobago can look like. Many before me had that vision, but many before me have stopped short of being able to accomplish that. Because if we don't have the room to be able to accomplish it, the wiggle room to achieve it, if we don't have the ability to execute the things ourselves, then there will always be a challenge. And I'll just give one example. If we can't wake up in the morning and decide to sign an agreement and get a flight landing in Tobago from a foreign country without obstruction or permission from someone else, somewhere else, then we really have to ask ourselves, how far can we go with tourism? So yes, we have the big vision, but every time we have this big vision, it has to become, it has to be scaled back to the reality that someone somewhere else pulls the strings and determines how fast and how far we can go. And the truth is, if people in the other place don't want us to be great, don't want us to go far or fast, they could stymie every single effort that we have. And that's why this election for me is so important. And yes, for most Tobagonians, we harp on the THA elections because you get most of your sustenance from the Tobago House of Assembly. But this one is critical because here we are trying to pick two people in a parliament of 41, two people who we want to go and make a difference for us and for the island, and a difference by way of being able to negotiate for Tobago and Tobagonians what we need ideally to be able to go far and fast.
So those issues that you just raised, what is the connectivity between the peoples? I think in my mind, from a layman standpoint, I tell myself, like in the work that other pioneers didn't have the effect because perhaps the population didn't have the buy-in. You understand? And the point I'm trying to make now, we are trying to galvanize our activity around this theme, this actualizing of every Tobagonian, this space that will impact the development and the greatness of every single person that lives there, regardless of your walk in life and so on. How do you see the message that theme impacting and finding its root in the population from the grassroots level to as far as possible?
Well, before I answer that question, let me start by welcoming our television audience and our audience where we already had an audience on Facebook, but we have additional audiences on Facebook and on YouTube, on the TPP pages, Tobago Updates. We welcome you, Tobago Updates, as well. I don't know if this is the beginning of something great. You know, TPP, we make great things happen. So this is partnership between two independent media houses, like never before.
Well, I probably have a future in media going forward.
So I want to welcome our live audience on YouTube, on Facebook, on Tobago Updates, on television, wherever you are looking from around the world. Welcome.
Right.
At the heart of the question that you have just asked is how do I get Tobagonians to believe in this dream?
Right.
How do I get Tobagonians to believe that it's possible for them? Yes, I have that resolve that it is possible, and that is intrinsic. But how do I infect the rest of the population with this sort of hopeful spirit and faith that I have, knowing full well that many in the population have experienced disappointment over a number of years. And there are so many in our population that have lived through all the different iterations, perhaps from 1976 with Robinson and Murray all the way to now. And so by now they're tired, right? Fatigued. And so how do I get these people to believe that, we could still do it, we could actually do it? And I'll admit to you that that's the greatest challenge that I have. Yes, the fact that people voted overwhelmingly for us in 2021, that's a good sign and a good start. That people listen, and on the surface, people believe that we can actually do it. The next task is to get people to believe that some of the perhaps bitter medicine that is required, that some of the transformational projects and ideas and rules changing must happen for us to get to that place. And that's the more difficult task, I think, that we have. And let me probably break it down some more. It is easy for the population to say we want change. And there are days I ask myself if people really voted for a change or if they just wanted an exchange. Because I see sometimes the same, and it breaks my heart, sometimes the same people who are my biggest supporters sometimes demand the things that we campaigned against. The things that I said not good for the development of the island. That won't make us the greatest little island on the planet. And so it requires a re-education of the re-educating of the population of the population, to get the population to appreciate that if we are to move from where we are to the next place that we dream of, then it requires that we change our modus operandi, change the way we operate, and change the way we do business. So it means therefore that if we are accustomed building a society where we go and we work for 30 minutes in the morning and get back home, that we don't have to be committed to move from 30 minutes to some hours. And so when early in the game I saw a petition actually come complaining from some category of workers that the supervisors were making them work longer hours. I said, but this can't be what you voted for. You have to know that I can't go out there and run away after half an hour and expect the road to be clean. So on one hand, we don't want to see the heaps of garbage on the side of the road. We want the drains to clean on time. We want the verges and so on and the roadsides to be cut back and cleared ever so often and quickly and efficiently. But we can't get that if we insist on doing things the way we always did things. And I'm saying throughout this campaign and saying to Tobagonians, I'm not coming here to say to you, just vote for me and I'll give you all the jobs you want. Vote for me and I'll allow you to do whatever you want. Vote for me and it will be a sort of euphoric paradise. And that might be doubling up on two words that mean the same thing. But I'm saying vote for us because we want to guide you in the right direction. We want to put you in a place where you'll be better off than where you were 10 years ago, 5 years ago. Vote for us because we believe we have what it takes to negotiate a new deal for Tobago. Vote for us because we believe that we can go to the parliament, use our 2 seats to negotiate for the things that we really, really want. And I want people to compare the two campaigns. one campaign, and I'm saying two campaigns because I think this is a fight between two parties essentially.
Pretty much, yes.
One campaign tried to build a platform on personal attacks.
Sure.
And they did it either directly or through proxies.
Right.
One campaign tried to build the platform on twisting words and taking words from here, there, and everywhere and trying to create a narrative and match it with other people and all sort of thing. Mm-hmm. That's how one campaign tried to build a platform. And then the other campaign, our campaign, we went out there night after night trying to deal with different issues that affect the lives of everyday Tobagonians and how in the national parliament those are issues to be fixed there, starting with the autonomy issue, looking at state companies run by the cabinet like Caribbean Airlines and WASA and Tiantec, looking at issues such as those in the 7th schedule where the law says those services should be provided in Tobago, looking at Studley Park and having the license to export, looking at the delivery, the on-time delivery according to the law of our releases from the parliament, from the central government, from the Ministry of Finance, looking at what the allocation should be and what it is now and what it could be, and how much difference that will make for the lives of Tobagonians, breaking down for Tobagonians how we take the monies we receive and how we try to stretch it. So, for example, last night I had to explain.
And I wanted you to kind of revisit that perhaps in a capsule manner.
Last night I had to explain. Look, it is not true that the vast majority of contracts we have given out went to Trinidadians. Indeed. The evidence and the numbers showed that it's in the minority. Indeed. But more than that, I also had to explain how when we get our releases, if it is that the division has vacancies for 500 people, we have decided to stretch it and give 1,000 people half a loaf each, with it 10 on 10 off. It's not because we think that is ideal for you, but we have an appreciation for where our economy is.
And there's a crisis situation
post-COVID, and the fact that we need to give everybody a piece of the pie.
Of
And
course.
I'm saying to Tobagonians, the vote for the Tobago People's Party is not a vote that says magically everything will be well, but it's a vote for people who are saying that we are willing to go to the parliament, do the dirty work, and get the job done. And what we really need are really two men who will go down in the trenches, and do the heavy lifting. This is not a period for fancy talk. It's a period for really us going and putting in the bulwark and getting it done.
Indeed. And I remembered when the people of Tobago pretty much changed their allegiance, for want of a better phrase, from moving from the Hochoy Charge era into the Orville London era. And one of the things that they were saying is that they tired with this abrasive kind of a leadership and all that, and this antagonistic approach, and they did a diplomatic approach. And so the people opted for the Orville London type of leadership and so on. But we've seen that those conversations has not gotten us any significant place. So the things that really matter to the Tobago people and their ultimate development. So the other question, Chief Secretary, is 2021 we saw an overwhelming movement, right? This movement of the Tobago people in mass to vote in a different way. We have a different government in office. Since we've been in office, there's been some disillusionment. Perhaps, I sometimes wonder if in our campaign, if we were over ambitious in the things that we were selling, or just as I said earlier, we have this in our mind's eye, this dream about dreaming big and selling a big dream to the Tobago people. What is your sense now of the temperature of the population? Is there a revival or a continuation of that same kind of vigilance and excitement from 2021? Has there been a lull? Has the campaign and the information you've been putting in the space now reinvigorated that kind of energy from back then?
I see this campaign has been almost like a revival meeting. Right. And the truth is, sometimes I'm guilty of making too many of my references perhaps biblical. But forgive me, is one of the few things I know.
Right.
But it has been a revival of sorts. Has there been some attrition in terms of support? Absolutely. Have there been people who feel a sense of disappointment? Absolutely. There has been some of that. Have we always walked perfectly and upright? Absolutely not. Have we made mistakes over the last 3 years? Absolutely.
Yes.
Are there things that we should change or I would change if there is a do-over? Oh, most definitely. But I'm saying that we remain still the best option that there is.
Right.
And let me explain why we remain the best option and why we must remain steadfast to this revolution. Number one, Tobago needs an indigenous party to move its agenda.
Right.
The Tobago agenda never moves in the national parliament, save and except it's led by an indigenous type of arrangement. The history shows us that. 1976, DAC, 2 seats, completely in opposition, not even opposition leader, not enough seats to be opposition leader, but 2 were enough to make a difference in the parliament to bring about Act number 37 of 1980 that gave rise to the first Tobago House of Assembly. 1996, it was 17-17-2. And yes, while NAR was supposed to be a national party, NAR by that time had withered away into a Tobago party. Because remember, after 1991, NAR moved from 33-3 to literally only getting 2 seats, and the opposition party becoming the now UNC, founded by Basdio Pandey. So by 1996, now essentially was a Tobago-only party. And again, we ended up with Act 40 of 1996, 2 in a parliament using their seats and their position to negotiate a new deal and expanded Tobago House of Assembly, new authority for the people of Tobago. From 2001 to 2021, we essentially had the PNM in charge in Tobago. During that period, for only 5 years of their 21 years, we had the same PNM in power in Tobago as in Trinidad.
Right.
We got no movement.
Indeed.
During the 5 years, we had a separate government in Trinidad. A bill was offered, and the opposition walked out on it. During that 21 years, former Chief Secretary Mr. London, he did, and I would give him credit for that, the single largest, most widespread consultation of the people of Tobago to gauge what the people of Tobago want in terms of autonomy. That was sent down to Parliament, PNM-THA, to a PNM-led Parliament. And when it got there, they took it, they shredded it apart, changed what they want, took out what they want, and tossed what they did not want. And then it evolved to what was brought last year in the dying stages of the ex-Prime Minister's career as Prime Minister, in hopes that we will just blindly say yes. But it still did not yield the results that the people of Tobago wanted. And I'm saying respectfully, while I give commendation to Mr. London and his efforts and his work, and I like to be magnanimous, and I also like to respect things that were done well, right? The fact is, he had the most widespread consultation ever. And I am saying, since that time, we have not had any consultation that trumps that. Not even the Prime Minister's Constitutional Committee had consultation in Tobago sufficient to change what Tobagonians said in Signal Hill they wanted. And they said that to Orville, they said that to Hochoy, they said that to Dr. Levis Guy and all of those who were in that room, Mr. Alan Richards and all of those who were part of that committee. And I'm saying that is our only starting point at this point. Nobody else have any authority to change that. and to say this is what we're going to put without first consulting the people of Tobago.
Right.
And so I'm saying respectfully, given that the only 2 times we got movements for Tobago in a substantial way were when we actually picked people who ended up in a minority position.
Yes.
And we picked an indigenous Tobago party to do so. We need to pick an indigenous Tobago party right now.
Agreed.
So that's a starting point.
Agreed.
Second to that, we need to now assess all the other indigenous Tobago parties. We know PNM is not an indigenous Tobago party.
Right.
So we could put an X by that or cross that out.
Right.
When we look at the other indigenous Tobago parties, not a single one of them is structured adequately to represent this democracy. None of the others have a living constitution. And those, or the one with a so-called constitution, has a dictatorship for leadership. None of the others have had internal elections among their members, have had a democratic process for selection of candidates. None of the others have had that. We are the only indigenous Tobago party that is organized, that is ready to represent the people of Tobago in the national parliament.
Got you.
Now, that might change 5 years from now, 10 years from now, but as of now, we have on the ballot paper, where we have 2 candidates appearing second to last on both ballot papers for Tobago East, ballot paper for Tobago West, where we have an anchor covered in a black box, so to speak, based on what I've seen.
Yes.
The reality is that is the only choice for indigenous, well-structured, well-organized, democratic leadership to represent the people of Tobago in the national parliament. I'm begging Tobagonians, that is what we need. And I am challenging the other parties. I'm challenging you. Let us go on the platform over this weekend. I'm challenging them. And let us discuss the issues of what Tobagonians want. Let's discuss that. I'm challenging them. I'm challenging them. Because I am confident.
Yes.
I'm confident, not just in my articulation of the matter, but I'm confident that we are more substantive on the matter.
Right.
And for me, that is what is critical in this election.
Got you.
And that's why I'm asking Tobagonians, if you have not listened to our platform before, listen to it when we meet on Saturday night.
Good.
Let's listen to it.
So I want you to ventilate two other matters as we go in further. Now, the new Prime Minister, who was the then minister, still is as a matter of fact, the Minister of Energy and Energy Affairs, and so on. And the matter of, okay, so in the Tobago context, we have a resource challenge. Perhaps one of our greatest potential earner that would have impacted and can impact the Tobago's economy is Spell. And there has been a refusal to grant Spell mining license and export license. A refusal, we dare say, that was not there before when the former regime was in power. So the former regime had the benefit of grace, apparently. So there seems to be this selective vigilance, I call it, to now try to pressure this new regime and so on. I believe it is all part of the conspiracy, obviously, to kind of keep us in subservience. Talk about that, and talk about the PNM's message, the Prime Minister and others coming to Tobago to tell Tobagonians vote for the PNM when one, they have been underfunding the government and the government activities in Tobago, and also preventing possible on land in Tobago activities that can contribute to the economy of Tobago. Talk about that.
Sure. You see, I believe PNM likes the centralization of power. They don't like decentralized power. They don't like devolving responsibilities to others.
Right.
Their political philosophy is that power must be kept at the center, so that they can operate and lead as strong men and strong women. that does not work for the advancement of Tobago.
Right.
And let's use Spell as an example. When I go to the 7th schedule of the THA Act, the 7th schedule of the THA Act says that services to be performed or delivered in Tobago. Number 12 on that list says, the ministry responsible for industry and commerce in respect of the granting of licenses. I am 100% sure that the Ministry of Trade does not perform their services in Tobago for the granting of licenses. So I start there.
Right.
But nonetheless, we apply through the Ministry of Trade to get the license to export. Now, Spell is in a catch-22 situation. We need to invest in new plants so we can ramp up production.
Right.
But we also need sufficient sales or predictability of sufficient sales to be able to generate the capital upfront for the new and additional plants to drive the growth in Studley Park.
Right.
So we apply for the export license. We know we have a problem with US dollars and Forex. Spell can help with that situation. Certainly in Tobago it can. Spell gives us an opportunity to diversify the Tobago economy away from just tourism. Spell gives us the opportunity for several downstream things, meaning that through Spell, we could do more than just aggregate. We can do commercial products like countertops, like sandpaper. Like there are several things we can do with quarried material beyond just selling raw aggregates.
Gotcha.
So all of those things are in the conversation. Also in the conversation is the possibility of renaming it from Spell and looking at the whole issue of just quarrying and looking for other areas around the island with similar or even better quality material that we can also extract and create a living industry around the thing. The law also says that for every business operating in Tobago, the taxes must be paid in Tobago.
Right.
So Spell should be paying their taxes in Tobago through the THA, as is done at Victor E. Bruce there. And once it's paid in Tobago, it stays in Tobago. And 2, Spell should be applying ordinarily in Tobago for their license.
Right.
We have done everything they want us to do, except go on our knees and beg. And the answer remains no. And I feel as though that no is to make us weak and powerless.
Sure.
And I have an issue with that. Because I am of the view that one should allow us to fail on our own accord. Don't try to arrange the system in which we operate in such a way that we must fail so that you will have a chance to get back in power. Give us a chance to govern freely.
It's a siege, Chief Secretary. It's a siege,
But that's unpatriotic.
Yes, it's a siege.
And let me say this, and I'll give an example. I think I made it on the platform in Castara. I remember when I was a minority assemblyman, people don't even understand the difficulties of that. But I'm a minority assemblyman. I don't have much going on for me. I don't have any other income. And yes, it was a hope and dream for my party to make it into government.
Right.
But when they were starting up this thing with the Man and the Biosphere project, the Department of Environment, they came to me. They had different forms to sign up and so on, to show support, to show, well, the area rep is supporting the project. They needed community consultations. And I never one day thought, maybe I should find a way to not make this happen so they're going to look bad. I say, this is a brilliant idea. As a matter of fact, when we were having a launch soon after we came into office, I went on record as bigging up and thanking Kwesi Devines for his work on this project. Because to me, loving my island means that I will celebrate and support something that good, even if it didn't come from me.
Right.
So I can't understand for the life of me We're trying to build a road. You send all the agencies of state to stop it. We're trying to get spell expanded, but you're saying no, and refusing. No good excuse. We're trying to get flights here before we could even properly negotiate this thing. You jump out to say Farley and them can't sign nothing.
Right.
Right?
Yeah.
He and them civil and my thing is, why is there such an obsession with the government failing?
Yes.
And here it becomes even more absurd. There are contracts that the former regime put in place that were bad contracts. Let me say it now. They sign away hundreds of millions of dollars, give contracts to contractors, no scope of work.
Right.
So nothing to measure them by. No tendering at all.
Yes.
They just handpick them and give them.
Yes.
No QS ain't got no about to measure the work. I have seen instances where they sign off and pay people for a kilometer road, and the road woefully short of a kilometer, which means they ain't even going to run a yard tape to measure the road.
Indeed.
Right?
Indeed.
We are being sued on the back end to pay some of these contracts.
Yes.
And when there are administrative faux pas or administrative negligence allowing us to lose those cases, I am seeing the same people celebrating as though it's a good thing. I'm saying you should have been, if you really believe in Tobago, you should have been saying sue them fairly, win them fairly. You should have been standing on our side. You pay for a zip line that we can't see all now.
Right.
We in court.
Yes.
Right. The court say, okay, don't sue the individuals. Take the individual's name out and only sue the company he was doing business with. That is all the court case say, I see these same unpatriotic worms celebrating as though something good happened. And I say, well, you just spent hundreds of thousands of US dollars for a product we don't have. And you are celebrating a defeat. You clearly don't believe in Tobago.
There's something wrong with that.
And I've been on record. You know what I've said? I've said the central government suing people left, right, and center over EMBD and what happened there. And I don't know the intricacies of the case. I don't know whether or not the government has a case.
Right.
But I'm saying if the government did the audits and find that something went wrong, the government have a right to sue them.
Sure.
And I don't have to support PNM to say that. I don't have to support Stuart Young to say that. I don't have to believe that Rowley was the greatest prime minister to say that. I just have to believe in my country to say that. And I'm saying...
And is that wrong or right? Wrong and right issue?
For me, patriotism has to trump everything else.
Right.
And this is what this election has to be about. Patriotism.
Chief, now, the time of our way does run in this studio.
Well, I hear the say we could go as long as we want today, and whenever we're done, we're done.
What? Don't make joke. All right. Well, we inside. We inside. So, no, as you segue into that, because I myself have gone physically and seen some of the issues, the what's the word? I want a word. The obscenities with some of these contracts. And so I remember I went to a particular road in Mary's Hill where we have the documents and the road has been paid for about 2 million something for the road, complete, and it's mud. You understand, mud that you see, and so I have spoken on more than one occasions about a road done in the district, Bethel New Grange. There's a road there in that we call Sesame Street. A road was needed because that road actually was a cul-de-sac for many years, so that road was needed. So the issue is not the importance of the road. The road, according to the documentation, the contractor received $13 million thereabout for the road, and that was one of the roads that red flags were raised over. When we went and checked the documentation and the experts that went to test the veracity of the work and that kind of thing, said the road actually is valued about let me say $2 million, right? The road is valued at that regime pay in 3 invoices 13 point something $million for that road. But here the next thing, here the thing that really got to me, because these are Tobago contractors, and it has been said that Tobago contractors and they are painted as these angels of contract. The main contractor subcontracted the work to another contractor in Tobago and paid the contractor $475,000 to do the road. Right? They charge the THA $13 million. The contractor that actually do the work, the completion certificates are $475,000. So, as we were breaking it down last night about the contractors in Tobago as against the contractors in Trinidad and so on, who did work and under whose purview the work were done, I would like you to jump into that, Chief Secretary. Let's put that information in the public space,
sure, no
and treat with this misinformation that has been put there upon the people of Tobago.
So what I did last night is that I asked Secretary Roberts from Finance to pull together for me the data to show approximately how much we spend on tendered contracts from our development votes. And let me preface it by saying, from development, we spent over the last 4 years about $280 million on labor, on employment, what we call development workers.
Right.
Another considerable sum was spent on materials, things like the concrete truck, the steel we have to buy. Another considerable sum was spent for rental of equipment. Another considerable sum is spent through DATAS, which is our scholarship and bursary program. So we're looking primarily and only at contracts we tendered out to do. So we're looking at the other DP spends, development spends. And in terms of contract value, in total over the 4 years, we issued contracts valued at $349,581,412.89, right? So in other words, just about $349.6 million.
Right.
Of that amount, $220.1 million, rounding off, was given to Tobago contractors. Right. So already you hear that is above,
sure.
That's the majority,
of course.
Right? Where Trinidad contractors are concerned, that came up to $129.4 million. But I want to also say that includes contractors such as like climate control and peaks. You're talking about people who deal with the AC and so on,
right.
And service providers like those. It includes Avicon Limited, and those are some people whose specialty is dealing with roof and ceiling roofs, and they are the ones who have sort of the license to import this special product to seal roofs. So instead of going to somebody who must go to them and then buy it,
right.
we went straight to them so we get it cheaper. Right. So it includes them. It includes California Stucco. It includes Corazal Trading. It includes Mecal Fab Limited and Sales and Weighing Equipment Services Limited. Literally, those are the main ones, right? More than that, I want to point out that the lion's share of those Trini contracts are really design, build, finance contracts.
Right.
Let's start with the road in Moriah. That opened since about 2022, where the steps were removed down King Peters Bay Road, and people could drive to the house now.
Right.
What Tobagonians don't know and don't realize is that we ain't done pay for that yet. We owe that contractor $12 million still, although he finished the work completely with his own money.
Yes.
And everything, he ain't sue yet. There's a Trini contractor. The road going through Friendship, approximately $80 million thereabouts, and going. That contractor forking out that money and putting that money into the project up front. And as I said on the platform, we are now taking our debt time to pay them on the back end. And so we are using the lion's share of our DP vote to pay Tobagonians up front with their mobilization to do our work, while the Trini contractors that come in this space are more likely to be those who are funding the project 100% up front and waiting on their monies on the back end.
Right.
So you understand how much we favor Tobago contractors in this arrangement. More than that, I want to go further in saying that even those contractors that we have legal issues against, because the THA issued pre-action protocol letters and so on, even those contractors receive payments from us.
Yeah.
So we didn't even badmine them and say...
And some of them still receiving contracts as we speak.
And some of them still receiving. I want them to be honest.
Yes.
Because I don't want to call their names.
Right.
Because some receive contracts from us in the millions. So imagine that. You are part of an arrangement that we say look shady.
Yes.
The auditors say it's shady. We have a court cases going on. But you're still free to tender and winning contracts under us.
Yeah, but I mean...
So imagine if we the blacklist people, and we have not.
Right.
We have not.
And I know that to be a fact, because there's a contract at the, what do you call it, French field, you call
French
it?
field,
Yeah, where some Gaebland baskets were installed and the project collapsed and they fall into the river and it then fixed. You understand? And that same contractor won a contract to do work up at the lighthouse at the fort. So it is a fact that it is not that that they have been blacklisted, although some of them have done work that I had to say that are questionable and need for us. We'd have been in the right if we say we don't want to give them no work. But in the true Tobago spirit, we have decided that we're going to treat the Tobago contractors as Tobago people, because we have this Tobago-ness and we're trying to build the Tobago where everybody have a place to actualize, as you said rightfully.
And not only that, and that is why I could say with confidence that these leaks they have out there are patently false. I can say with confidence, because I don't govern from a place of bad mind. I don't govern from a place of bad mind. I remembered when the Warner Group of companies first got in some legal drama in Trinidad, and the media asked me, I said, while we have RIF, while it will appear as though they don't like me, and we have had public spats, I say, I don't wish that their company fail. I don't wish that in this, whatever they're experiencing in the courts, will cause them to be destroyed. That was actually the night when we had our internal party elections. That was one of the questions asked me of the media, because the thing had just happened. Because in my mind, we don't have to be friends for me to want you to succeed. And that's why I could say confidently that some of what they have in this space, they're patently untrue. And that's why I've decided just not to respond.
Right.
And let me just say, by the way, while I'm not responding to them and in the way they will want me to respond, I have my lawyers taking notes.
Right.
So I hope people know that the election day will come and go. And it doesn't preclude me or stop me from taking the necessary legal actions. Right? So I hope they know. And they know that I've already screenshotted, saved all the posts and the publications. I have no fear with that. But I'm saying to Tobago, in this fight we have, this does not require us to hate each other to the point that we want to destroy each other.
Right.
This requires that we all go to Tobago, make our best pitch, and let Tobagonians decide. Right. They and God will decide.
Right. Chief Secretary,
yes.
We have 5 more minutes, right? 5 more minutes. I see X shaking his head, but we go take it. We go take the 5. We take the 5 gracefully.
Gracefully.
Yes. What you would want to tell Tobago with the last 5 minutes we have on this program here?
I want to tell Tobagonians that in the modern history of Tobago, perhaps from the turn of the century to now, we have not had a political organization quite like the Tobago People's Party. We have not had an institution that has been as forthright and honest with the people like the Tobago People's Party. We have not had an political institution so willing to admit flaws, ask for forgiveness for those, and move on. we don't even double down when we're wrong. If we're wrong, we say we're wrong and we try to correct, self-correct. And that's what I want from governance. That's what I want from a political institution such as ours. I want to tell Tobagonians that in this season, I believe we could get this autonomy we have been fighting for the longest while. I believe truthfully that in this season, with 2 standalone MPs, we could negotiate an outcome that is best for us. I want to tell Tobagonians that when you go to the polling station, that the symbol is the anchor.
Right.
I want to tell Tobagonians that as you're looking for the anchor, you might see a black box around the anchor. Even if your eyesight ain't so good because you didn't get a chance to go and get the cataract removed by Dr. Faith and them.
Yes.
You could find it second to last on both ballot papers.
Yes.
I want to tell you that we are prepped and ready for the negotiation. I want to tell you that we can actually do this.
Right.
And I need Tobago and Tobagonians to believe again that we collectively have what it takes to do this, that we can do this together.
Right.
And it's on that basis I want to thank Tobagonians as well for your support. You have been coming out to all the meetings. You have been watching online in large numbers, and I want to say thank you. I want to say thank you because I appreciate you. I appreciate your comments. I appreciate your messages, your prayers, your support. I appreciate your contributions. Those of you coming and buy the little hat, buy the hoodie, buy the cups, as we try to raise funds so we could pay X and them for the time on the radio, right? Because it's a paid political broadcast, right? It ain't free,
Indeed,
right? So I want to thank you because we couldn't do this without you. There's a ground-up approach, and even after we sign off from the radio on television, there will be the launching of a music video.
Okay.
And that's a song called A New Wave.
Right.
It has been played here on Tambourine over and over again
yes.
about this concept of a blue wave and washing all of the negative away, all the negative vibes away, washing away all that has gone wrong, and us purging ourselves and being prepared for a new wave, a blue wave, a blue tsunami even, and the work ahead. Right. This is not a vote for automatic entry into paradise, but it's a vote for people who will lead us in a fight and lead us with hard work and diligence to get anything done. Right. That's why we need your support, Tobago. And we need you on the 28th, we need you on the 29th, and we need you every day after that to be behind us on this journey and in this fight.
Good. Well, we have a couple of things over the weekend. Maybe you just want to share that quickly.
So on Saturday, tomorrow evening, we are in Roxborough. We hope to start by 6:30. So just after sunset, we'll start there at the Sid Gray Complex in Roxborough. Come out and be a part of the last meeting as we make our closing case. And in that meeting, we will rehash all of the ideas and solutions that we posited on the platform over the last couple of weeks. On Sunday, we have our motorcade. We ask that those coming on the motorcade, that you arrive at the Food Hub and the Shaw Park Complex for 8 o'clock in the morning so that we can assemble and so that we can, in a very disciplined way, journey around the island. And even where that is concerned, I'm asking for discipline. It's no secret that I personally, I'm not a lover of motorcades, personally, but I recognize and respect that the party is bigger than how I feel. And the membership of the party wants to do the motorcade, and I certainly will support them having that motorcade. So we want discipline on the roads and safety as we go around the roads. And of course, on Monday morning, by 5 a.m., our polling agents will be out. They will be at the polling stations to supervise, to witness, rather, the opening of the ballot boxes and the unsealing of the envelopes as we prepare to vote. And during the day on Monday, our transportation guys are all in place. Those that will be operating outside of the 100 yards, they are in place already and prepared for us to move and to be ready for the vote on Monday. By Monday evening, We will count the votes.
Yes.
With God, we will win.
Yes.
With God, we will win. And we will celebrate for a short while,
right,
but immediately get to work thereafter.
Right.
But overall, thank you very much. Yeah. And I hope you appreciate the music video that some talented youngsters came together and did for us.
All right. Well, listen, thank you so much, Chief Secretary, for being on the program today. For all of you listening and, of course, viewing, this has been Who Feels It Knows It, and this is our final program for this season. I think I could say that. And, we hope that the information that has been put in this space is of value to you and has an impact positively on your vote on Monday. Again, God bless you. We hope that you have a fantastic day. Pay attention to the information that we put. Look forward to seeing you perhaps in Roxborough tomorrow and on Sunday morning. We gone. God bless you. God bless you. Take good care. Bye-bye.
Yes. Let me see where on the TV they know.
The political campaign will be conducted like church.
Yes, man. Look me chief on TV. Sensible story. Let me sit back and listen to him.
Brothers and sisters, I come to you at this time not just as the leader of this great revolution, but I come to you because there is a mighty blue wave that is enveloping this entire island, this island of Tobago, our home. Because for too long, we have walked through the wilderness. And now it's time for a washing.
We are experiencing a weather phenomena. Winds from the east are colliding with winds from the west, and it looks like it's going to be a big one coming towards us. We just want you to stay safe and be prepared. The TPP is coming to take over.
60,000 people, you're behaving like 60,000 crabs in a barrel.
Bounty 28, we are going to capsize the barrel of crab.
Wash the red paint off the land, let's paint it blue.
Come let me paint it blue.
It's a blue.
Make the old red
taking back our heritage for me and you.
Blue earth. It's a blue earth.
Wash the red paint off the land, let's paint it blue.
Blue earth. It's a blue earth.
Together.
60,000 strong tsunami coming through.
It's a blue earth.
We part in the Red Sea now. Them thinking that we would drown. We making the promised land the greatest little island.
Oh yeah.
Tell them we not backing down.
Anchor hold from in the ground.
Tobago we kicking the barrel down. Come,
wash the red paint off the land.
Let me wash it off.
It blue, blue earth.
Oh yeah, paint it blue. We taking over. The slavery over. For me and you.
It's a blue earth. Wash the red
it's a revolution. Taking back we own land. Come let we paint it blue. Come let we make it blue. Together.
60,000 strong tsunami coming through. It's a blue wave.
Now it's time to purify the land. Now it's time for cleansing. Now it's time to do it with purpose, with unity, and with truth. Now is it time for us to stand strong and to stand proud and to get everybody on the island on board for this blue wave that is coming, and to ensure that every valley, every hillside, every hamlet, every town, every small village, every cove is actually washed in this blue wave. So this is a call for the 60,000 strong. Whether they're coming from the east, whether they're coming from the north, whether they're coming from the south, whether they're coming from the west, we want 60,000 strong. Let us converge, let us come together, and let us change this land. We have to continue this revolution. We started in 2021, and we are going to continue it in 2025. God will help us, brothers and sisters, and this blue wave will cleanse the land. This is our prayer. In Jesus' name, amen.
Blue wave taking over. Blue wave. Blue tsunami.
Oh God, wait. I'm running and put on my jersey. The blue wave coming. I'm going to put on my jersey. Hold on.